Good day, beautiful people. I want to share my take and get your take as well on this young lady's perspective about segregation. She's coming forward with it with a little bit of humor. However, I'm going to add a little bit of seriousness and how it actually affects us as well. But I want you to go ahead and watch this video, and then I'm going to add my commentary.
What's your take?
Bring back segregation.
100% disagree.
Dead and bring it back. I want to know where I'm not welcome, okay? Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it, all right? Rip the Band-Aid off.
In the respect of putting the signs back up, I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. However, I do see the benefit in it. If we know exactly where we are not welcomed, we know where not to spend our money. We know where not to waste our time. We know where not to go in order for us to secure our peace and our safety for ourselves and our families. Racism has become a whole lot more covert, and it's a whole lot more systematic and legal and red tape-ish right now. It's easy for people to hide it and act like they are of an integrated mind or inclusionary mind. However, their actions show something totally different in a very sly and slick way.
Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes, mayonnaise, hot dogs. Colors only. We got seasoning, turmeric, paprika.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
You were saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get
The colored excellence.
Now, she's talking about food in jest and the flavor of food and things like that. However, there was a man that actually spoke about this. He said that after integration, they went into a predominantly formerly white restaurant and they tasted the food and they were highly disappointed. And he said, is this what we were fighting for? So in light of that, I'm going to speak about the black excellence a little bit later.
Black people spend over $1 trillion a year. I would love for the government to force us to spend it on our own people.
This is very good.
Yes.
I like this a lot.
I brought you over to the side.
And the black airplane?
Oh, come on, the soul plane, baby.
I want to be on Soul Plane.
Yes, it's going to be noisy on there, but that's what noise cancellation headphones are for. You know what I'm saying?
And they're going to have all the good movies.
All the good movies, all the good music.
Oh.
As far as the black planes are concerned, I think a lot of black people will probably go for that right now because I don't think a lot of us are flying, especially with the whole air attendant issues and the staffing issues that they're having with the planes right now. But on a more serious note, the money that we spend here in this economy would make us the 16th richest nation if we were an independent nation, just African Americans alone. So that is a very big and powerful movement in economic power and stance to have. And just imagine if we were spending that on each other in each other's businesses, we would make our own people millionaires. 10 times over. And as far as her saying the government forcing us to spend money on ourselves and with ourselves, that's never going to happen. They are not going to force us to do anything that's going to be actually beneficial to us. Integration was overly beneficial to the capitalistic plight in this country because the black dollar does not stay in the black community.
And while we at it, bring back sundown towns. They never left, but...
What's that?
Well, a sundown town was back in the day during Jim Crow where black people weren't allowed to be in a town after the sunset.
Wow.
So those towns never left. They still exist in America, but they took the signs down. I want them to put the signs back up. I wanted to say 248 miles to the next town that likes colored people. Get your gas in Atlanta. Don't stop till you get to Savannah, all right?
I'm with her.
He with me.
As far as the sundown towns are concerned, they definitely still exist. Unfortunately, there are a lot of us still being unalived in some of these places. They're not going to put the signs back up because they know that they would have an issue if it came to that. However, I am with her. I do think that the signs should actually go up. If they don't want us there, they should make it very clear so we can truly, truly avoid them and being in their spaces and spaces where we're not wanted. However, they're not going to do that because our money is wanted, but our presence is not wanted. And that has been the tone of this country as a whole from its inception. Our bodies are valuable, our time, our labor, what we can bring. However, our presence on a deeper level is not welcome. Now I'm going to tie in land ownership to segregation. After the Civil War and during Reconstruction, blacks sought out to own land because they knew that that was the path to economic freedom. Between 1910 and 1997, black farmers lost more than 90% of 16 million acres. That is a lot of land and a lot of wealth. And the reason I'm tying that in to segregation is because when we had our own land, we knew we had to work it. So we were by default already segregated and we knew we needed that land. But after integration, we weren't reliant on the land much anymore because we were dependent and became dependent on other people to supply our food and our goods and things of that nature. So land ownership and segregation tie in directly, just like segregation and self-sufficiency tie in directly. When we had to rely on each other, we did. When we had to rely on each other, we made other people in our own communities wealthy. Now that we are more integrated, we are making other communities wealthy. Other people and communities are coming into our neighborhoods and communities and becoming wealthy off of us. So in that regard, segregation was not necessarily a bad thing. When segregation did exist, we made a lot of our people very, very wealthy because we were only depending and could depend on ourselves. We had our own hospitals, we had our own schools, bus lines, even car builders, not just dealers, but car builders and manufacturers, our own security and police departments, our own everything. It's a dangerous game sometimes when you're depending on others to teach you, to feed you, and to clothe you because you lose those skills for yourself. And when you are depending on others to do all of these things for you and give you the necessities, they could do whatever they want with those items. They can withhold those items. They can put whatever they want in those items. So that's why it's a dangerous game. And for those who are saying, oh, why would you want segregation? You know, well, we're already segregated. I don't know if you've taken a look at the inner cities, but there's already a line. Those lines are still very much in existence, even though there's integration in certain points. There's still many, 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 many points of America in the world where there is a great deal of segregation. One of those places is church. You go to church on a Sunday, you are most likely going to see a segregated church. And yes, they have multiracial, ethnicity type churches, but those are very, very few. So if the places of worship are still segregated and in this day and time, there's segregation definitely still in existence. And so it should not be an issue if African Americans want to voluntarily return to segregation. Because it was literally and technically a very good time and place in time for African Americans financially and economically. There's a little Cuba. There is a little China. There is different Arabic communities in different parts of this country. So all of these other ethnicities can have their own little whatever country they're from, but When we start saying we prefer to be segregated and left alone and on our own, that's an issue. And you have to ask yourself why. Why is it an issue for us to actually want to be independent and self-sufficient? A lot of it is most definitely economic and has to do with control. Let me know what you all think, and you be blessed.
Bring back segregation. Black people spend over $1 trillion a year. I would love for the government to force us to spend it on our own people.